Breaking news. King Charles has taken a step no British monarch has attempted in 70 years. The response from Sadiq Khan has sparked the biggest constitutional crisis London has seen in generations. This is not gossip. It's a real power struggle between the crown and an elected mayor. What unfolds next could reshape British politics forever. On Wednesday morning at 9:47 a.m., King Charles made an unprecedented move. His private secretary delivered a formal letter to City Hall, and the message was clear. Confirmed by multiple palace sources, the letter expressed serious concerns about how London's leadership was handling royal ceremonial routes. The tone was polite but firm. The king stated that the current approach contradicted the safety and interests of British citizens. To put this in perspective, the monarchy normally avoids getting involved in local government disputes. Charles stepping in personally shows just how serious the situation is. But this is not about a single incident. It's part of a pattern. According to palace officials, over the past 8 months, Khan's administration has blocked or delayed royal permissions on 3 separate occasions. Rehearsal routes for the Trooping the Colour were restricted without prior consultation. Requests for street closures during Commonwealth events were denied at the last minute. Most strikingly, an internal City Hall memo suggested royal processions should be scaled back to reflect modern democratic values. When that phrase reached the Times, palace staff say King Charles highlighted it in red and wrote, "This stops now." The conflict centers on London's handling of the annual Lord Mayor's show. Khan's team proposed rerouting the event away from historic paths, used since 1215, citing traffic concerns. Palace historians immediately saw through this reasoning. It was not about traffic. It was about reducing the visibility of the monarchy in London. Sadiq Khan refused to back down. At 2:15 p.m., he held an emergency press conference outside City Hall. With his jaw tight and face flushed, he declared, "Nobody tells the democratically elected mayor of London how to run this city. Not unelected advisors, not aristocrats clinging to medieval privileges, and certainly not the monarchy." Constitutional experts immediately recognized the significance. A sitting mayor had publicly challenged the crown in a way rarely, if ever, seen in modern British politics. The response from Buckingham Palace was swift. Senior palace officials described the king as privately appalled by Khan's defiance. Multiple courtiers attending emergency meetings said the atmosphere inside the palace was one of controlled fury unlike anything seen during Charles's reign. One senior advisor told reporters, "His Majesty has had enough. The patience has run out." At Wednesday's Privy Council meeting in Buckingham Palace, King Charles made what insiders call the most significant assertion of royal authority since the 1936 abdication crisis. "London belongs to all Britons, not to the political agenda of one man," he declared. His words were steady but uncompromising. He was drawing a line in the sand. Charles personally wrote the rebuke, rejecting softer language suggested by advisors. But he didn't stop at words. The king activated rarely used constitutional mechanisms dating back to the Magna Carta. These measures allow the crown oversight of London governance in matters affecting the monarchy and national heritage. Every major policy decision affecting the city's historic character, ceremonial events, or crown prerogatives must now be reviewed by palace-appointed constitutional advisors. Khan still retains some authority, but his power has been dramatically constrained. By using dormant constitutional frameworks, Charles avoided breaking democratic principles while outmaneuvering Khan strategically. The political fallout was immediate. Within 90 minutes, the pound rose 0.4% against the dollar, reflecting investor confidence in renewed political stability. Conservative MPs quickly launched coordinated media attacks. Former Home Secretary Sala Braverman said, "The king has done what Parliament should have done years ago, stood up for ordinary Londoners." Even within Labour, divisions appeared as moderate MPs sought to distance themselves from Khan's constitutional confrontation. Public support for the monarchy surged. King Charles trended globally for 6 hours, topping charts in the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Over 340,000 tweets appeared in the first 4 hours alone. Polling conducted Thursday showed 68% of Londoners believe Khan overstepped his authority. Alarmingly for Khan, 52% of former Labour voters were reconsidering their support. Within 24 hours, protests erupted across London, With crowds outside City Hall waving Union Jacks and chanting, "Khan must go." The images were politically damaging and circulated worldwide. Leaked internal documents added fuel to the fire. City Hall memos from 3 weeks ago show Khan was warned by senior civil servants that challenging royal prerogatives would trigger constitutional mechanisms, rarely invoked in modern governance. If authentic, this means Khan knowingly provoked a constitutional crisis for political gain. Constitutional lawyer Professor David Hughes told the BBC, "If the mayor received explicit warnings and acted anyway, he's not defending democracy. He's abusing it for political purposes. That's entirely different." The memos reveal even more. A document from Khan's chief of staff, dated October 23, outlined plans to use progressive sentiment against traditional institutions, including the monarchy, to elevate Khan's national profile ahead of the next general election. They deliberately targeted the king as a political symbol to energize their base. But they misjudged public opinion. While Britons may complain about the royals, attacks on core institutions unite public sentiment in their defense. Inside City Hall, the situation was chaotic. Ministers argued openly, deputy mayors were divided, and some urged Khan to apologize while others pushed him to escalate. Deputy Mayor for Transport Sebens reportedly said in a WhatsApp message, "This is electoral suicide. We need damage control now or we're finished." Khan appeared visibly shaken in public appearances, struggling through prepared statements and refusing questions on the king's intervention. Sources say he is surviving on caffeine and late-night crisis meetings, watching his political legacy unravel in real time. Meanwhile, Conservative leader Rishi Sunak seized the moment. Speaking at a town hall in Kingston-upon-Thames, he positioned himself as a steady, confident alternative. While others attack our institutions and disrespect our constitutional monarchy, we stand for stability, tradition, and the values that made Britain great. The polls reflected this shift. Conservatives surged to 38% nationwide, their highest rating in 18 months. Labour collapsed to 31%, losing ground across demographics. In London, Khan's approval dropped from 47% to 34% in just 5 days, the fastest collapse in mayoral polling history. Conservatives now lead in Greater London, 36% to 33%. Internationally, Khan's position looked weak. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau praised the monarchy for maintaining constitutional stability. In Australia, both major parties supported Charles's intervention. Even in New Zealand, polls showed 61% approval for the king's actions. The message across the Commonwealth is clear. Challenging the crown is political suicide. The next 72 hours are critical. Khan faces a potential no-confidence motion within Labour, while senior party figures discuss whether to remove him to avoid dragging the party down. King Charles must decide whether to press his advantage or return to traditional neutrality. Any further action risks political criticism, while inaction could appear weak. Parliament returns Monday, and Conservative MPs are preparing emergency debates on mayoral powers and constitutional oversight. Britain is witnessing its most serious clash between the Crown and an elected official since the 1970s. Legal experts are examining ancient provisions that allow Parliament and the Crown to remove local officials who violate constitutional norms, mechanisms centuries old that were never expected to be used in modern times. Khan's confrontation has forced these discussions into the present, highlighting just how badly he miscalculated. The key question now: did Khan commit career suicide by challenging the king? Or can he survive this constitutional firestorm? Did King Charles just remind modern politicians that the crown still has power? And could this crisis strengthen the monarchy by proving its ongoing constitutional relevance? This story is developing fast. Comment below with your thoughts. Did Khan overstep? Or is the king overreaching? Share this story with anyone who needs to understand what's really happening in British politics. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because we'll cover every development as this constitutional showdown unfolds. The next 72 hours will define London's leadership, and possibly the role of the monarchy in modern Britain. This crisis is far from over.